Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. Today we going full court press on these Petey files, man. I got a crazy show for you guys today, guys. I got my judge hat on. My daughter got me for my birthday. I got my gavel. One of you fine folks got me. And we are going straight justice on these Petey files today, man. Florida has taken down a massive Petey File Ring. Now, I know I'm a little late to cover this, but we're covering it now. I just had a really busy week. For those of you who don't know, today is my birthday. I'm the big 4-1, people. The big 4-1! Yes. So I want to bring this in, guys. I want to jump right into it. This is our second live stream for the morning time. I want to hear about this amazing accomplishment from Florida authorities. I'm told, because I haven't even done a lot of research on this, we're going to react to this live together. Like, I have not seen this press conference. We're going to react to this together. I'm told it's like at least 20-something to 30 people that they caught in this Petey File Ring. And some of the victims were as young as ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it.
In Tampa again, I'm joined here this morning with Commissioner Mark Glass, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Special Agent in Charge from the Tampa office, Mark Brutinel, and Special Counsel from our Office of Statewide Prosecution, Rita Peters. It's good to be back. I wish it was to talk about something more uplifting, but we do have a big announcement this morning that we are busting an international child pornography ring. We will be bringing charges against 8 individuals this morning, 7 of whom are Florida residents. As a dad of 3 little ones, it's tough to talk about some of this stuff, but what these guys were doing was truly heinous. There's not a word in the English dictionary that can describe the gross content that was on the videos. Our investigators have been able to get their hands on over 1 million videos showing sexual abuse on minors. Many of these individuals were babies that are being sold around the world. The 2023 National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reports over 36 million instances of suspected child sexual exploitation and over 100 million files related to child sex abuse material. And that's only what's getting reported. This continues to be a problem in our country, in our state. Protecting our kids is not an easy task to begin with, and today, with the access to the internet and social media, it allows these sick predators to more easily get access to our kids. And as I've said, my first 5-6 weeks on the job here, that's going to be a major priority for my office. The individuals that are being busted today that purchased this harmful content, many of them found it through TikTok. It was available online. They found access to a portal where they could purchase this dangerous material. TikTok has shown they can very quickly get stuff off their website. If there's unlicensed music or something going around, they've proven with a flip of a switch they can get it off. And it's taken too long for them to get some of this pornographic material and avenues to purchase harder, more gross content. We've got to get them to be more accountable. So we will be working on that. We are going to hold social media companies accountable that want to put our families and our kids in jeopardy. So today, these 8 defendants are being charged with multiple felony counts, including RICO, money laundering, and purchase of child pornography.
Wow. Again,
I can't tell you in words how gross this content is, but it shows the dangers, the evil that's out there. It is truly evil. And you've got my word that in this state, we are going to do everything we can to hold these people accountable. If you are a child predator, if you are one of these sick people, then I hope you never see the sun again. And I hope you certainly never have access to kids again. So we will continue that fight, and I want to give a very special thanks to Rita Peters from Statewide Prosecution for leading this fight. She's going to slap these guys around in the courtroom, and unfortunately I'm figurative in that comment, but thankful to her, as well as investigator Abby George, who busted the case. So thank you. I'll turn it over to Commissioner Mark Glass.
All right, man. So basically they're getting this stuff through the internet, and I guess what's happening is they're showing previews on the internet, right? Previews that don't necessarily violate the terms of service for TikTok. But these previews attract a certain clientele. Then, through these previews, the clientele are directed to outside websites, probably through Telegram or whatever, where they now can directly purchase the CSAM material from the bad guys, from the people who are actually selling it. So they're basically using TikTok as a storefront, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you a question. Why do we even have TikTok? Like, why do we even have TikTok? TikTok should be banned. I thought that we were banning TikTok. I thought that one of the rarest instances in American politics where you had bipartisan support to ban TikTok, that it would actually happen. Why hasn't it happened? Only God knows. Let's keep going.
Thank you, General. Appreciate it. I just want to say, first and foremost, General Uthmeyer has stepped in and stepping up and stepping out. He is really allowing us to just move forward on these types of cases, these long-term cases, and continue on to get these evil, sick people behind bars. I want you to just take a look at that board over here with these folks. And it is just evil.
Show the board.
The faces you see there are faces of evil.
Why are they not showing the board for it?
The General talked about, we can't even talk about what was on those films and what they had, because it is that disturbing. More disturbing than you would see even in your movies. Way more. It's evil. And the sad part about it, there's many more out there, just like these evil people. Many more. And we know it. And through the hard work and dedication of
cameraman was asleep at the wheel. He sent it to that board like 5 minutes ago. Big shout out to CR with a Cash App. Thank you so much for the birthday Cash App. I see you inside of the chat saying, hey, I just sent it to you. I just checked it and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Agencies, such as HSI with DHS, are task force agents for multiple agencies across this Tampa Bay area and the rest of the state. FDLE and our Office of Statewide Prosecution. We're able to get out there and get these evil people out of our society, put them where they belong, behind bars, answer to their crimes. I'm a father. I'm a brother.
I don't know if Stephen Stearns was connected to this ring. The problem, people, is that there are hundreds of rings just like this in existence right now, if not thousands. So it's not a matter of was Stephen Stearns connected to this specific ring because it happened to be in Florida. I don't know. And they would know. They would see pictures of Maddie among the trove of evidence that they've collected. I think that Stephen Stearns was purchasing and sharing and selling or trading on the dark web, on Telegram. I just don't know if it's this particular ring, because what you guys gotta understand, once you open your phone, you open yourself up to the entire world. You don't need to trade locally. What's the odds that you're gonna get connected with a local ring? You have access to do positive or negativity with the entire world. So when people say, do you think it has something to do with this ring or that ring? And I say, nah, there's no evidence. I want to clarify. I'm not saying that the trading didn't happen. What I'm saying is that There's no evidence that he's connected to the music teacher or to the after-school teacher at the school. What is it, Hunters Creek School? There's no evidence that he's connected to Santa, the father and son duo who were abusing neighborhood kiddos. There's no evidence that he's connected to this ring, at least that we know of yet. But I do believe that he was connected to a ring or some rings somewhere in this world where he was able to amass 35,000 photos of nondescript juvies, and he also had 1,700 of his own produced material that he could use to leverage to trade for other material. So I just want to clarify on that, guys. Big shout out to A Obsidian, who's a 4-month White Shield member. Thank you so much for supporting me. Let's keep going.
I'm a husband, and I'm your state of Florida commissioner on FDLE. And the stuff that these evil people did emboldens not only me, but the men and women behind me to go out and get more of people like this off our streets. This will not be tolerated in the state of Florida. And when I became the commissioner of FDLE, this is one of my highest priorities, is going after sexual predators, sex offenders, child molesters, deviants that do this kind of stuff to our children. Not just our children in the United States, we're talking about children all across the world.
Right, absolutely.
We would be remiss not to talk about why it was such important to shut down our border. Children that these evil people do these heinous things with,
yes,
came across our border.
Absolutely.
I was out there, and the people that looks like that's their mother, it's not their mother. They're just muling the kid.
Mm.
And with HSI out there looking up the unaccompanied minors, we're helping them, FDLE shouldering with them to try to find these children that were brought into our system to make sure they're safe. And we want to make sure that every one of these children were safe that came across that border, that are here in the United States, first and foremost.
And listen, man, listen, first of all, big shout out to A Obsidian with a happy birthday super chat, $6.99. Thank you so much. We got to be honest here, guys. We have to be honest. I think we're being blinded by politics. I have to have an honest conversation with you. Otherwise, I'm doing you a disservice. Because I know things that you don't know. Because it's not your job to know. Because you pay me to know, so you don't have to know. But if you're here, you want to know it. Regardless of your politics, we have to be honest. The last 4 years was terrible for child victims. The last 4 years, we had a ton of juveniles being trafficked into this country for these purposes. It doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right. A fact is a fact. A fact is a fact. The open borders that existed in the last 4 years was a nightmare for children. They brought these kiddos over here and exploited them right here on our soil. And we should be ashamed of ourselves that we allowed that to happen, left and right. It's not about politics. It's about humanism. It's about right and wrong. It's about compassion, mercy, and justice. We let it happen right under our noses. For what reasons? I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't care about the politics, ladies and gentlemen. I care about the children. Let's keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen, make no disclaimer here for you. This is evil, and it will not be tolerated in the free state of Florida. I'll be followed up behind me by the Special Agent in Charge, Mark Brutnell, to give you a little bit more in depth about this case. Mark?
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Attorney General, for both of your support and your leadership. I know the team really appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you for that. So I'm going to kind of get into a little bit of the weeds of this investigation, which to me, this is one of those career cases. This is one of those cases where you're going to look back 10 years from now and say, I made some change. It was a lot of hard work, and I'm glad I did it, and the results speak for themselves. So what happened was in July of 2024, our agents were working proactively on the internet, looking for individuals that like to sell and distribute child pornography. And our agent found a chat room where he was speaking to an individual who directed him to a website called tributeprintedpics.com, which is on the internet. It's not the dark web, it's the straight internet. So our undercover agent went there and began a conversation with an unknown individual who wanted to sell him child pornography. At the end of the day, our agent purchased 6.7 terabytes of child pornography for $100. So I'm going to put that into context. That's
6.7 terabytes? 6.7 terabytes. Do you guys understand how much information that is? For $100? 6.7 terabytes? Wow.
6.7 terabytes is 1.2 million videos and pictures of some of the most egregious, disgusting content we've ever seen. My agent has done this for a long time, and he came to me after that purchase and having to view some of that stuff and said, boss, it was awful. It was awful. For him to say that, it had to be really bad. I've read the affidavits, and it makes me sick. So that's where the case really started off. So within a week after that, working with our Attorney General's office, FDLE and the Attorney General's office, we executed a seizure warrant on that website, tributeprintedpics.com, and we shut it down. We said, you're not selling that stuff on the internet. We shut it down. Within 2 days, several phone calls from law enforcement agencies all across the country, local, state, federal. Thank you guys for doing that. Thank you. A lot of them had active cases, and they could not figure out how to shut this website down. The state of Florida shut it down. So as the case progresses, we identify an individual from New Jersey, Krunalmar Modi. We realized he was a money mule for this organization. Let me back up. In the midst of our undercover chat, we also were directed how to pay the $100 for this 1.2 million files. So we went up to New Jersey, working with those authorities in New Jersey. We executed a search warrant at his residence, an arrest warrant, and with all of his electronics, we did a very thorough scrub of his electronics, which produced a treasure trove of evidence. This is where the case really started to take off. We were able to identify an individual by the name of John DeVille. Clearly that was an alias, we knew that at the time, but John DeVille and Mr. Modi had over 500 transactions. So that's the volume of transactions of this CSAM that they were distributing and selling. Knowing that was clearly an alias, that was when the case really took off. That's when our primary goal was to find out who John was. As a part of this investigation, we were able to identify 7 people in Florida that had purchased this material from John through Modi. And those customers were identified as Brett.
Now, hold on here. So you guys see from what I told you before that once you open up your phone, you open up your phone to the whole world. So it's like, that's why I'm like, people are like, well, do you think that Stephen Sir is connected to this? But the customers were in Florida. The actual criminality was happening in New Jersey with the money mule, and Oregon, who's the guy who's at the top of it. So it's no way of telling where these rings are. They're all over the world. They're everywhere. They're in America. They're outside of America. They're everywhere. So let's keep going.
Brian Moore from Orange City, Michael Andrew Warden from Kissimmee, Jacob Ross Conley from Fern Park, Cody Vance Jordan Muti from Palm Bay, and Israel Cole Thomas from Lakeland. Now there's 2 customers up here on this board that I'm going to just kind of talk about them briefly. The first one is Frankie Pinero Jr. He is from Groveland, Florida.
I don't know what's going on with
this individual.
I don't know what's going on with Kissimmee. What's going on with Kissimmee, man? They love the kids too much in Kissimmee. All the Petey Files is in Kissimmee. I told you guys, listen, I put the map up on our channel showing all of the Petey Files that are in the vicinity of Hunters Creek Middle School. And people had the audacity to say, oh, Strategic, you're being unfair. Kissimmee is a nice town. I see Ferraris driving up and down the road. What is wrong with people? I swear, man. Some of you guys never coming to the cookout. There's a lot of pedophiles in Kissimmee, man. What is going on out there, guys? This is crazy. Please hit up that like button. Hit that like button. We got 140 people watching this and only 65 likes. Let's keep
listed as a sex offender.
Man. Let's do it.
He was currently on probation from a child pornography arrest that our office in Orlando did in 2019. He got a very light slap on the wrist for that case, and he was also sentenced to 20 years of probation. We know he bought a large amount of this disgusting material from our guy John, and it was on his phone. So I'm pretty confident, and you'll hear from Rita here in a minute, he's not getting probation on this one. There's no doubt about that. Our second individual was a guy named Brett Allen Snodderly from Clearwater. Again, we know he purchased this material from John. During a search warrant at his residence, we found children's underwear at the residence. Now, we did our due diligence. We're positive he's not a hands-on offender, but obviously great cause for concern.
Wow.
His phone, which was very tech savvy, we had to bring it back to the office, get into it with a search warrant, proper legal service, which we did. Ultimately, you guessed it, lots of CSAM on the phone. So about 7 days later, we get an arrest warrant. We have Clearwater PD go pick up Mr. Snarley. And when they do, what does he have? He has a new phone with even more child pornography on the phone. I mean, I don't know what to do at this point. You can't fix that, right? So this guy, we have his phone within a week, a new phone, more child pornography.
Unbelievable.
As the investigation continues, we're always searching for John. We identify through HSI another money mule, Exima McQuaida from Portland, Oregon. She was a facilitator for the sale of this disgusting material. She has a current arrest warrant now for money laundering. We also identified suspects in Canada and Ireland, and we're working with HSI in that regard.
Right.
So finally, after almost a year of diligent work, 140 subpoenas, 20 search warrants, endless hours of analysis. You see this chart here? That's kind of a way to break down the spider web that we had to sift our way through and figure out who's who here. We were able to identify John DeVille as Mehmet Bozayuk from Adana, Turkey.
They'll never get him.
Mr. Mehmet was very deliberate in hiding his identity. He utilized multiple layers of VPNs, money mules, obviously, burner accounts, burner phones. He also used a lot of stolen personal identification information that he would steal off the web to send money through different channels. He really, really believed that he could outsmart us, but at the end of the day, he didn't. He tried to profit on this horrific abuse of children, but we caught him. A little back story on Mr. Mehmet. He's married with 2 kids, and this is his way of making money.
And guys, he'll never get caught. Turkey's not sending him over to the United States, and they're also not going to do nothing with him either. And I have to say that this is a massive case. Like, they did a awesome job. This is an international case. You know, these guys are working with Homeland Security. Big shout out to Linda Kurzawa with a $3 super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Let's keep going.
Currently have an arrest warrant for him in the system. We are talking with HSI, our partners at HSI, to try to get him extradited to Florida, and I hope we can pull that off because he will be held accountable here in Florida, no doubt about it.
Turkey's not sending him.
An excellent case, the teamwork. Again, as a father, like everyone has mentioned before, I was amazed at these guys, the way their dogged pursuit of him. Again, it's one of those cases where you're going to look back when you're over with this career and say, I made a difference. That's just one network. I'm sure there's several more out there that we are actively going to target as well. So with that, I'm going to bring up ASAC McCombs from HSI to talk about their role in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, SAC Brutnell. It's a great honor to be here today to speak with you all on this case, and most importantly, our great collaboration with the state of Florida and its partners. No finer partners to have than partners at the state of Florida. FDLE is a tremendous, tremendous partner for us, and the citizens of Florida should be proud for the level of investigative effort that went into this investigation to keeping all of our families safe, to include my own. HSI has 90 offices in 56 countries all around the world, and a number of them were utilized in this investigation to
Yeah, I knew it was international. They had to use HSI. It was not possible to do this without HSI. Big shout out to Leslie, $5 super chat, says, sometimes I think PD files pick location and an occupation so they can pick the most vulnerable. It would be scary having a child in school right now. I mean, listen, you ain't saying nothing wrong, because we found out a lot of these PD files, especially female PD files in the schools, especially female PD files. Big shout out to Leslie with a 1 gift membership for 1 lucky person. Please make sure that you thank Leslie for that gift membership. Let's keep going.
Cover this network. You know, oftentimes we will bring these investigations to the state, but this one was the reverse. They brought us in on this investigation. We're very thankful for that. It's a great partnership when the federal government and the state government can combine resources and leave no stone unturned worldwide to uncover massive amounts of child pornography at a low, global, systemic level, and one that we're going to, you know, work very hard to dismantle. We will not stop in pursuing these investigations. We can't stop. And the level and brutality of these images are sickening, and I've seen a lot. I just want to thank the investigators on this investigation, some of the best that I've seen. The financial analysis, some of the best that I've seen in my 28 years of federal law enforcement, and very, very proud to be a part of this investigative team. And I also want to thank my investigators at Homeland Security Investigations in Tampa. Thank you.
Good morning. By way of reintroduction, excuse me.
All right, so I got to go and get my daughter, and also, not right now, but just in a couple. And also, I see that I got a delivery for another part for the computer. And this is my birthday, and this is my second live for the day. So when they're done their initial remarks, we're going to end the live. So we're not going to stick around for questions from reporters. I think we've done enough of this that most of the time, the reporters are asking questions we've already heard the answers to during the press conference. We also know that these guys are not going to give too much information out because it's still an open and active case. So we will not be covering the press Q&A section, but I will allow these folks to continue and to basically finish out their statements. We're going to hear from each one of these law enforcement people because I think it's important. But then today's my birthday, guys, so got to get out of here, go do some things with the family, go do some things for myself too. All right, let's keep going.
My name is Rita Peters, and I have the pleasure of serving under Attorney General James Uthmeyer at the Office of Statewide Prosecution.
And hold on, before she talks, if anybody's wondering, what is that on your head, Strategic? Well, this is an old school English judge wig, and my daughter saw that I love my gavel so much, the one that one of you fine viewers bought me. So she had to buy me as a birthday gift, the matching judge's wig to go with the gavel. So that's why we've got the gavel. And since today we are putting judgment on these PD files, we had to get up in our full regalia today. All right, let's keep going.
I specialize in matters involving human trafficking, sex crimes, child exploitation, and I have been doing that for about 26 years. And to say that the images and videos that I observed in this case were the most horrendous is an understatement. In July 2024, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement contacted me to assist in an investigation regarding a sale of images of child exploitation, child sexual abuse material. We learned that for $100, they were able to obtain links that led them to over 1 million videos of children involved in some of the most heinous types of sexual brutality that I have ever seen. Brutality that involved infants, necrophilia, brutal sexual battery, and molestation. These horrific pictures and videos capture real, identifiable children whose names are in the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. These children have been identified series within that directory. Right. They are victims of human trafficking. They're also victims of sexual battery and a plethora of other crimes. And these kids are from the United States. Yeah. We began by sending subpoenas to multiple companies to start the paper trail and see where we were going. That was followed up with search warrants to various financial entities, as well as online communication applications. And then we kept following that paper trail until we finally learned the identity of our main distributor, Mehmet from Turkey. Through our past investigative experiences and information that we were able to obtain in the early stages of our investigation, we determined that the vehicle that was used by Mehmet was tributeprintedpics.com. And very quickly, we shut that down. We seized that website, and FDLE was able to shut it down. And as you've heard, multiple agencies, we actually heard from global agencies, England as well, that they thanked us for shutting that website down because it had been such a source of a problem. Through the following steps, we isolated the individuals that you see on that board who took part in not only the distribution by Mr. Mehmet, but also the purchase of all of these images. It is because of that desire to see children being brutally raped, the demand for that this was possible.
That's correct.
In addition, we learned that Mr. Boziuk Mehmet also employed identification from other individuals stolen on the dark web to use their financial resources or their financial accounts to obtain funds from buyers to also sell this child pornography. We spoke to 2 of those individuals who had no idea that their financial accounts had been utilized for that purpose, one of whom was in Canada that broke down. He filtered money through these accounts just so that he can enrich himself through the sale of child pornography. These individuals,
and a lot of people are saying like $100. Like, what is $100? You guys understand the final destination of this money was Turkey. And you could do a lot with $100. It's not like, you know, that was just for America. That's $50,000. That's $50,000 that this guy made in this ring. So, you know, even if he pays off his 2 middle people couple $1,000s for their services, he's still taking home money that's life-changing in Turkey. Money that allow him to buy a house, money that allow him to buy a car, money that allow him to live middle class if this money's coming in a steady stream. So that was a lot of money for him, the ringleader, the person who's located in Turkey right now.
have all been charged in Hillsborough County Court. Krunal Kumar Narashabi Modi from New Jersey is facing a 65-year sentence for RICO, or racketeering, conspiracy to racketeer, and money laundering. Frankie Pinero Jr., who also faced child pornography charges in the 9th Judicial Circuit, is charged with conspiracy to commit RICO, purchase of child pornography, and use of a two-way communication device to commit a felony. 40 years, Florida State Prison. And a side note, Mr. Pinero was charged by our Office of Statewide Prosecution through the Orlando Bureau with the additional child pornography that we obtained off of the electronic items, and he has pled and received a 35-year sentence on that one. So it is just a matter of days before we have him in our jurisdiction. We have Brett Ryan Moore, also charged with conspiracy to commit RICO, purchase of child pornography, and use of a two-way communication device. Again, 40-year sentence. Israel Cole Thompson, conspiracy to commit RICO, purchase of child pornography, and use of a two-way communication device, 40 years.
40
Brett
years.
Allen Snodderly, similarly, 40 years.
40
Jacob
years.
Ross Conley, 40 years. Cody Vance Jordan Muti, 40 years.
40
Michael
years.
Warren, 40 years. And then ultimately we will have Mehmet and also Jimena from Oregon. They will be charged. Mr. Mehmet Boziuk will have a whole host of charges, and his exposure will be well over 400 years in Florida State Prison.
400 years.
It was a pleasure to do this investigation. This was, hands down, just good old-fashioned police work.
It's a
And that's
pleasure
what it
listening
was.
to
It was
you.
a partnership. We made ourselves available at all hours, every day, as did every other agency, because it was about saving those children and making sure that we would take this element off of the street. And we look forward to prosecuting these individuals. We look forward to bringing Mr. Boziuk back from Turkey so that he can be answerable to our courts and receive the sentence.
He's the only one that's not going to be coming back, guys. Turkey is not going to give him up. Turkey is not going to give him up. But the rest of these dudes, Their gooses are cooked.
That he so richly deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Parents and families at home can rest assured knowing Rita's here fighting the fight and keeping our kids safe. With that, we'll open it up if there's any questions.
All right, so we'll stop it here, guys. Once again, I'd love to hear the questions, but remember, today is my birthday. This is our second live for the morning, and it's time to go do some other things, man. It's time to go have a good time and celebrate my birthday. I already have a date with my daughter, pick her up from school. My oldest, she wants to treat me to breakfast at a pancake spot, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I think this is great news. I really wanted to end my YouTube day with this show because this show is good news. This show is law enforcement working to take these pedophiles off the streets and to bring justice to the victims. It's unfortunate that many of those children that are depicted in those videos are no longer with us, and others are still in those horrors, and even, or not even worse, but just as worse, some of those victims are adults now. Some of those victims might very well be in one of these chats, and they have to relive knowing that these videos that were taken of them when they were younger are still in circulation and still out there, and every time they're viewed, those videos are re-victimizing those victims who are just trying to salvage what's left of their life. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go after them one PD file at a time, guys. And only with your support can this happen. So support your local law enforcement. It's very important. Support your local law enforcement. You know, if you're young and you want to make a difference, consider joining law enforcement. But we need to also pressure our lawmakers to ensure that they're putting laws on the books that helps law enforcement take these people out of our communities and keep them out of our communities. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.